I don't understand how someone can see this picture of Tim Walz and not, like, just want him to be vice president. Like, look at him. He's so happy holding this little pig.
I just want you guys to know that I am voting for Kamala. Listen to me. I don't give a what anyone has to say, what you may feel. Understand this. We've had years of men. Nothing. I don't even give a y'all think she's the worst choice. She's the dumb ever. Let's give it a try. Let's try something new. You know what I'm saying? Let's put a woman up there. I don't even give a let's do it. Let's try it. Am I happy that she's black? Yeah. I am. I think that is the perfect way to offset it all. A black woman being the first president of the United States is legendary. Trump and his team ain't playing that one. They ain't see that one. I registered. I'm voting.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about probably the most frustrating demographic of voters in this country, which are young women, okay? Young women tend to vote Democrat at plus 60%, okay? And that is a huge problem because young women are the reason why the red wave was just a red puddle in 2022, okay? And Democrats are banking on these young, misinformed, woke, progressive women coming out and voting for Kamala Harris in 2024 to stop Trump from becoming president of the United States again, okay? And I gotta tell you guys, I am concerned, right? I am concerned about the 304 vote. I am concerned about these young women who seem to be obsessed with abortion and other issues that, in my opinion, are not nearly as important as the economy, immigration, crime, foreign wars. These people not concerned about it, okay? They're more concerned about Kamala Harris being brat, okay? And a bunch of other things, in my opinion, that don't really matter as much. So I want to react to this interview because I think that interviews like this are scary, right? They really are. That we have a large demographic of people who think the way that these liberal college women think. So without further ado, let's get into it.
What comes to mind when you think of Donald Trump?
I would say unqualified.
Unprepared.
I'd say ignorant.
Highly influential, but disingenuous.
Selfish and arrogant.
What word or words come to mind when you think of Kamala Harris?
She has a lot of power in her voice.
I would say hope.
I would say strong.
I would say eloquent. She's been very persuasive, and I think persuaded me to vote for her.
Numbing.
What does that mean?
Her administration, what she would serve towards American politics would be like another 4 years of kind of stagnant or very small progress, if any.
Okay, so this woman is woke, right? That's what she means. She means that Kamala Harris is not far left enough, right? She's not saying that, well, Kamala Harris's policies would be bad because, you know, they are too far left. No. She's saying that, well, Kamala Harris is not woke enough for me, right? This is what she's saying. But if you listen to these people talk, right, and how they describe President Trump versus Kamala Harris, I obviously don't agree with their descriptions of Trump, but I think their descriptions of Kamala Harris are ridiculous, right? Like, I don't think there's anybody that could objectively look at Kamala Harris and say, oh, she's strong, right? She looks like somebody that has power in her voice, right? When you listen to her talk, okay? Kamala Harris is the exact opposite. She is weak, okay? And she is not somebody that I think our adversaries would fear on the world stage. I just don't, okay? I think that she would get rolled over when it comes to foreign policy. Like, for example, what happened in Ukraine. Kamala Harris was tasked with going to Ukraine to prevent Putin from invading Ukraine, and she failed. She failed miserably, okay? So this idea that Kamala Harris represents strength, to me, is mind-boggling, right? It really is.
Curious to hear from those who said you're voting for Kamala Harris. Is it a vote for Harris or more against Trump? Olivia?
It's a little bit of both for me. I don't want to see another Trump presidency. January 6th, just seeing that play out. I was in the history class when it happened. We watched it on C-SPAN on TV. That really made me think I don't ever want our country to go down this road.
Yeah, I wonder what this same student thinks about BLM, Antifa, the Roe v. Wade rioters, the pro-Palestinian rioters. I wonder what she thinks about the political violence that has been committed in this country on behalf of these left-wing groups. Because if you're saying that, well, I can't vote for Trump because of what happened on January 6th, then you shouldn't be able to vote for Democrats either, because we've had the most political violence that we've ever seen in this country under Democrat leadership, right? We have never seen the amount of political violence in this country that we've seen over the past 4 to 5 years, okay? And a lot of it has come from the left, and a lot of it is because of Democrats, right? If you are voting because of political violence, right? If your vote comes down to political violence, there's absolutely no way that you can make an argument that Kamala Harris would be better to lead this country if you're voting based off political violence, right? To prevent more political violence. Democrats are the main cause of political violence in this country. Left-wing extremism is the largest, most common form of domestic terrorism in this country, and it's not even close.
Haiti, is it a vote for or a vote against someone?
In all honesty, I would say that it's more so against Trump. Everything that he stands for is really the complete opposite of what I stand for.
My vote, I think it's for Kamala Harris. Harris had said that she would sign some bills that are really important to me. Reinstate Roe v. Wade.
Reinstate Roe v. Wade.
I want to see that bill.
What?
Yeah, but you're not going to see that bill, right? You're not going to see that bill. And again, see, this is the problem. Democrats rely on ignorance. And see, this is one thing I love about what Trump said on stage at ABC debate. And I think that his best segment was on abortion. Okay, one of the reasons why is because, again, it's not a strong issue for Republicans considering the current circumstances, right? But I think Trump articulated the best argument that you possibly could make as a Republican on this issue as it currently stands, which is that, hey, it's a state's issue. It's not a federal issue, okay? It's not really possible for me to sign a national abortion ban. It's not worth having a conversation about because that bill is not going to make it to my desk. Okay, we're not going to have enough support to do it. Just like Kamala Harris is not going to have enough support to codify Roe v. Wade into law. She's not going to be able to do that. And even if she did do that, okay, it would probably get overturned by the Supreme Court. Okay, Roe v. Wade is not coming back. But the fact is that Democrats are campaigning on a big lie, promising that they can do something that they know they can't do. Same thing they did with student loans. And I think Trump pointed that out as well, too, that Democrats promised that, hey, we're going to do something that they know they cannot do, right? They know they can't do it, but they say they're going to do it anyways. And then when they try to do it, they say, oh, well, we're shocked that we were stopped by the Supreme Court. You need to blame MAGA, right? Blame MAGA for why the Supreme Court is saying, hey, you can't do things that are obviously unconstitutional, right? Again, it just blows my mind. That's the game for the Democrats, right? And then they use that hate and vitriol that they create in order to attack the Supreme Court, to attack Republicans, okay? When they're making these promises that they know they can't keep. They're not going to codify Roe v. Wade into law. It's not going to happen. So all these people that are voting to codify Roe v. Wade into law to protect abortions, it's nonsense. It's silliness. It's a state's issue, okay? It should not be a part of our national discourse. But here you have these woke, indoctrinated college students. They're brainwashed. They're brainwashed by Democrats. Oh, well, I think that Kamala Harris is going to allow me to continue to get abortion. She's going to codify Roe v. Wade into law. Ignorance, man. Ignorance. It's not going to happen.
What issues are most important to each of you in this election?
The jeopardization of education, specifically with critical race theory. I'm worried that if education is taken out of schools, history will just repeat itself.
Okay, nobody's taking education out of school, right? What she's basically saying is that, well, I'm concerned that there's not going to be more left-wing brainwashing in school, right? She pretends as if Republicans are trying to take teaching slavery out of school and about civil rights and stuff. It's not happening. None of these things are happening. These are all falsehoods and conspiracy theories from the left that these people believe, right? This is what they believe.
When it comes to immigration, Donald Trump has obviously shown alarming behaviors when it comes to immigrants and non-documented people. And at the end of the day, I'm a product of all of that.
As somebody who's interested in international relations, the biggest issue for me is the current genocide going on in Palestine.
The main thing on my mind is abortion right. This right is just so vital to, being able to defend our autonomy.
Wow. Again, I love how they frame the abortion argument as if it's about autonomy, right? Well, as a woman, I can't do what I want to do if I don't get my abortions, right? I can't have autonomy over my body. It's like, no, you have complete autonomy over your body. Basically, what you're saying is that, well, I want to keep my right to abortion, aka terminating babies right before they're born, in some cases after they're born, right? This is what they allow you to do in some of these liberal states, okay, like Minnesota, for example, right? Tim Walz's state. But anyways, they say, well, it's about autonomy. No. What you actually really mean, it's about you being able to continue to be promiscuous as a woman and to sleep around and engage in reckless sexual activities with no consequences, right? Which likely is what, some of these liberal college students, these women are doing, right? So that's what they want to do. They want to be able to sleep around with no consequences, okay? Instead of just being responsible, right? Okay, closing your legs, not having sex. And if you choose to have sex, then I don't know, maybe use some form of birth control, right? It's really that simple. But they don't want to do that, right? They just want to allow random dudes to shoot up the club, okay? And if they happen to get pregnant, hey, well, I can get an abortion, right? Okay, because I'm going to tell you, a lot of these women, I'm going to keep it 100 with you, keep it all the way 100. A lot of these women, they're not very strict when it comes to their sexual behavior in regards to when they're having sex. They don't make sure the man is using protection, right? They're not that selective. They don't go out of their way to make sure they don't get pregnant. Okay, they're very reckless, and they want to continue to be reckless with no consequences, because a woman's kryptonite is accountability each and every single time, especially a liberal woman, okay? Now, from a man's perspective, this is what I really don't get, is these young males out here talking about well, I have to vote for Kamala because of abortion, because of my girlfriend, right? Which to me really blows my mind, because it's like, okay, well, as a man, you're showing that you lack sexual discipline, right? I don't understand why any man would support abortion, okay? I really don't get it. Even if you're in a relationship, you're like, well, we don't want to have kids right now. Okay, well, use a condom. Use some form of birth control, right? I mean, I'm just saying, like, I really think that this is not that complicated. It's really not. I don't understand why men would feel the need to have abortion as some type of emergency birth control, when as a man, you shouldn't be shooting up the club inside of random women in the first place. Because every man should have some self-worth, right? They should understand that, hey, my seed is special, okay? And I'm definitely not going to give my seed to some random woman to have kids with, and then I'm not even going to be there to take care of the kids because I don't really want to be with the woman, and then some other random man is going to take care of my son. And I really wish that more men thought this way, because I think personally what separates men from animals is that type of sexual discipline, right? When you see a dog in the street, okay, they go around and they, do whatever with any female dog. They don't care, okay? That's animal type behavior. So for a man to engage in that type of behavior, to me, seems to be very animalistic. So personally, I think that the abortion conversation is a big conversation because people don't want to engage in responsible behaviors around sex, right? Everybody wants to participate in it, but they don't want to deal with the consequences of it, okay? And therefore, they think that, hey, it's okay to have abortions and to terminate life because I want to maintain my autonomy, right? Again, it really blows my mind. It really does.
A product of in vitro fertilization. If it weren't for IVF, then I wouldn't be here right now. So that's an issue that's very important to me as well.
Nobody's banning IVF, right? Again, these are all conspiracy theories from the Democrats. Republicans bent over backwards to save IVF in Alabama when their Supreme Court decision came down, but yet for some reason there's this like conspiracy theory that Republicans want to ban IVF. It doesn't make sense. It's all nonsense. Like, these people are voting out of fear, okay? That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing.
Do you feel like your peer group is more engaged in this election?
With social media like TikTok, it's definitely helped a lot with the campaign.
In what way?
I hate to bring this up. So Charlie XCX has this album, Brat. And so whenever the day that Biden had dropped out, she tweeted, Kamala is Brat. I think at that point, all these memes started coming out. That really influenced young voters, and social media has kind of helped push that.
I think that is going to be a very big benefit to her in terms of young voters, because a lot of us have a very, very positive perception of Kamala Harris based off of a lot of videos that we've seen and this kind of the way that she's been sensationalized through social media.
Wow. I hope they stay home. Right? I hope they stay home. Oh, man. This is a damning indictment on democracy. Right? It really is. This is why I'm not one of them democracy guys. Okay? This is why I take the Socrates approach to democracy. Right? This is why I'm not one of these people that get upset when Democrats claim that Republicans are trying to suppress the vote. Right? Or Republicans are trying to make it harder to vote. Hey, at the end of the day, man, you got people out here voting that are voting based off some of the dumbest reasons that I can think of. And it really is crazy to think about, man, how effective some of the propaganda is from this network, MSNBC. All of these women are radicalized by MSNBC. 100%. They watch Rachel Maddow and Joy Reid lie to them every single night and brainwash them into believing that their rights are going to be taken away under President Trump, when it's like under his first administration, none of these things that these people are fear-mongering about happened, right? And even with Roe v. Wade being overturned, we have democracy now, right? We have democracy in the states. If they want to keep it, to vote to keep it, fine. If they want to vote to get rid of it, to ban it, hey, they can do that too. But it's not a federal issue, okay? None of the things these people are fear-mongering about are worth fear-mongering about. And it really is a shame that you have these types of voters that are lining up to vote in mass, right, in droves for Kamala Harris over the stupidest things. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.